Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. It's not such a pleasant day. I am going to be telling you the story of the bunny rabbit. So every year during the winter you can always see a pair of rabbit running up and down across our yards. This year one has taken over my yard. You see it sitting on the front porch. You see it in my backyard, and since I started my garden, I noticed that it is always running from underneath my hydroponic system, or it's coming out of this garden here, and where you see the wood pile over there, it likes to hide underneath there. And initially it was just always at my sister-in-law's house next door, and it was in her garden and giving her trouble, so she would chase it away with water. And then it started coming to my place, but because I'm constantly in my garden, so it seemed as if my presence is not welcomed, so it always run away. Even though I'm not trying to chase it away, it just always seemed to run away. And then it started going to my neighbors that are across the street from me. And then a few days now I notice it is coming to my place again. Anyway, over here in these two blue raised beds I have my beetroot, and you can see how macheted it look, right? That's because this is what the rabbits have been feeding on. It's the first time I'm planting beetroot, and I was looking forward to reaping the beetroot, but you know what? All the years that we have been seeing rabbits running around in the neighborhood during the winter, I have never seen them running around in people's yard in the city during the summer. So I have always been wondering, is there something going on that is preventing the rabbits from going to their usual spots? Or could it be that they're in my yard this time of year because of the difference that I have with my garden, where I had a lot of compost heap in my garden, and I had a lot of dried leaves covering the bed as well. So they had a lot of food, but it doesn't really make much sense because every year, in addition to putting food scraps in my compost bins, I always put food scraps, just put the food scraps down on the garden floor, because I know that the rabbits come and eat, and when they eat they drop their poop, so I always just throw the food scraps there. But this last fall I did cover the garden with food scraps, and in fact most of the stuff that I collected from a restaurant, as soon as the first compost bin was full, I started putting it in this garden. And let me show you all of this area from right here where you're looking up to that apple tree there, and back to where you see that tall bush over there growing. All of this section was covered with food scraps collected from the restaurant, and the section behind the apple tree there had food scraps. So I don't know if maybe that's what has been inviting them this year. But anyway, this morning I came outside. I decided to water my garden. I was pretty early, the earliest I've been out here in a long time. And while watering, I noticed that the day is cool and it seemed as if it is going to rain. It is still a bit overcast. And so I was there watering my garden, and I saw the rabbit lying down, so I decided I'm not going to water that section. I'm just going to let him stay there, because this time around he didn't run. So I started watering, and then it started drizzling, so I said, okay, if it's going to rain, I'm not going to water. So I went inside. 2 hours later I came out because I saw that it wasn't going to rain, so I started watering my garden. And sadly, this is what I found. My gardening buddy has left me. I don't know his cause of death. I don't know how long he has been there. The flies are now trying to have a go at him. Surprisingly, even the wasps are trying to have a go at him. And so I will be saying goodbye to my gardening companion, and I have prepared a little grave for him. So I was thinking of burying him in my garden, but because I do not know the reason why he died and if maybe he consumed poison or anything like that, so I decided not to put him in my garden. But this section here close to my garage, where I don't really have any food growing apart from grapes over there, I'm just going to be burying him here. So I'm gonna get my gloves. I'm going to take him up and give him a decent burial. So I decided to put a few of my friends in there so that they can help to break him down quickly. The sooner he's not there, the less likely it is that I will have any scent coming from this area. So now I'm going to just cover it over and say goodbye. Okay, so this is now the grave of my departed gardening companion. It is sad to see him go. I rather enjoy seeing him running away every morning. I would come out and look for him, but I guess now I'm gonna have to see if another rabbit is gonna come to replace him. If not, then so be it, but that's the end. Thank you for watching. Sorry for being the bearer of bad news, and please have yourself a wonderful evening.